One. Well, hey, Dave Melinda here, Positive Polarity Podcast. Hope things are going awesome for you this week. So excited to tap into a brilliant mind, a very little well known, or I shouldn't say a little well known topic. And it's actually a great question to start this week. And it's, where did you learn your business etiquette? And I thought about that and I'm like, oh my gosh, I learned it by trial and error because no one told me how to do it. And then I realized I really learned it and like at the expense of my customers. And I'm like, uh-oh, this isn't good. So I want to hang out with somebody today that's going to walk us through some fun stuff there. And then we're going to transition into LinkedIn. So I'm honored to be hanging out with Adrienne Barker. How are you today?
I am excellent. Thank you so much. Very good.
Absolutely. Founder of Professional Global Etiquette. So tell us, what is Professional Global Etiquette? What's going on there these days?
Well, to answer your question, I realized about 10 years ago that I was missing the etiquette piece to my sales. And I
Okay.
remember we were being taken out by a vendor and we were at this fancy restaurant. I saw the prices and there was about 12 of us and everyone was ordering. So I asked Roger to the left of me. I said, Roger, do I order salad? Everyone's ordering a salad. Am I supposed to order salad? And then do I order the soup? Who ordered the
Sure.
soup? Should I order a drink? They're $12. Is that okay? And
Yeah.
I've always been careful about other people's money, but
Sure.
I absolutely felt uncomfortable. I felt that I didn't know even what to order. And then when food was coming in and silverware, I just realized at that point of time that it's not just me with a lack of business etiquette, but even around the table, a lot
Yeah.
of us didn't really, we were just eating and drinking and having a good time. But I didn't feel like I rose above anyone. And I also just, at the end of the day, did not feel comfortable. And that was the most important thing to me. And then I realized I really do need business etiquette. So I learned my business etiquette because I had a need for it at the Protocol School of Washington in Washington, D.C., if I could say the premier education for corporate etiquette.
Uh-oh, now I'm nervous. So if I do anything outside of etiquette, you please let me know because I have no clue what that is even about. I didn't even know there was a school for etiquette. So we are getting trained by the best today, ladies and gentlemen. So cool. Thanks for sharing that. So I kind of want to start with, we love to talk about on this show for people that used to be in corporate America and then they transitioned their way into being an entrepreneur business owner, and you're the founder of the Professional Global Etiquette company. So you were in corporate America. How did that, I mean, obviously what that story you just shared had something to do with it, but a lot of people, let's just be real here, Adrienne, a lot of people wish they could own their own business. A lot of people listening right now are like, man, I wish I could make that journey. How did you make that journey for yourself? Was it something that just you woke up one day and you're like, that's it, I'm doing it? Did it take a bunch of time? Kind of walk us through, if you could, what that journey was like for you.
It was about a year journey when I realized that I was really missing a piece in my life, and that is the etiquette piece, and going and attending sales meeting and dinners and just not feeling comfortable. And in the realization is I'm not feeling comfortable. I'm not doing a great job making sales because I'm more worried about how I look, sound, and act.
Sure.
So what I decided to do at that time is corporate America for me was working in a large family business, my family business, over
Okay.
100 employees, mom and dad, two siblings, three siblings. My sister had passed, but I realized that I also, it came at the same time that I stopped enjoying selling, that I just felt like I lost my mojo and I couldn't really
Okay.
find it. But I got excited when I thought the process of teaching corporate etiquette and then adding under corporate etiquette communication, customer service skills, and all of that. So
Sure.
first thing was I needed education. So first thing was really looking, did I want to teach children? Did I want to teach teens? Where did I see my future? What did it look like? And in talking to a few people, making some calls, I did feel that the Protocol School of Washington was the best school for me. So that's
Sure.
the first step is I listened to a speaker and he said, if you want to learn something, teach it.
Yeah.
And that's
Wow.
what motivated me to go to the Protocol School of Washington.
That's awesome. So when you were earlier in your career, did you kind of feel that itch to, be in leadership, ownership? Did you kind of have that, or was that not on your radar? Because again, some people listening, they don't know what they don't know, right? So they're not even sure where their path is going to take them. And then there's others that are crystal clear from when they were 5 years old. I had a guest on not too long ago. He knew from 5 years old he was going to own his own business, and sure enough, dialed right in there. So was there any inkling for you early on, just for anyone listening that might be earlier in their career?
There really was. I mean, I love that my parents started the business, and I was always into the leadership. As a matter of
Sure,
fact, I wanted to make sure that I was the best. And right before I actually started my business, I had won Businesswoman of the Year. Our company won Business of the Year, and that was an office that we had in the Kissimmee market area, Florida. So I already felt like I've been on 5 different leadership programs
sure,
through chambers. I love
sure.
learning. So that was okay for me. I just felt that I didn't have a voice. My voice was getting drowned out. And so I needed to really figure out, okay, Adrian, you're not enjoying selling anymore, but what you do enjoy is teaching and coaching. And so let's work on that. Let's get trained. Let's move forward. And so there was a lot to it. It wasn't just, besides making all those plans, it was making sure that I was going to put myself in a position where I could be a high level. So I knew I had all my branding and marketing and
Sure.
literally business experience. So actually, you know who I turned to? Score. And
Oh,
I didn't turn to Score to like ask for a mentor. I turned to Score to become a mentor, because crazy as it sounds, it was on my bucket list that I
okay.
wanted to be a Score mentor, and that was something that was important to me. So one way to really kind of like grow my business was to mentor for free and to start going on and making presentations. I started a radio show called Adrian's P's and Q's. That was in 2017. I love that so much. And so I just, booking myself on podcasts, getting my name out there, creating my website, writing blog articles, doing interviews with people that may need etiquette, all of that
Sure.
as I was growing.
Wow. So let me ask you, did you have a plan? Because you just laid out a whole bunch of stuff that people sometimes can get overwhelmed by. Should I be a podcast guest? Should I write a blog? Should I build a website? Should I have it get on TV, radio? There's all these, questions. So do you help people like kind of sift through that? Or where does, in this case, professional global etiquette, where do you come in and help the people that maybe are struggling with that journey?
Yes. So after 8 years of being with Score, I took the hat off. So I'm no
Okay,
longer a Score mentor. Now I'm a guardian ad litem, which is something that I really wanted to do. That was also my bucket list. But I'm able to help people with their business plans because of 35 years in the promotional products industry. I work with such a variety of clients. When I worked with you, if you were a client, I was going to learn everything about your business. So I was
sure.
involved in the meetings and the prep work. So I understand a lot. So Score was fairly easy for me because pretty much I had the ability to work with everyone. But at the end of the day, where I really have knowledge is in the branding and marketing and promotional products, logo merchandise industry. So right there, I was able to get out and start to meet people and help them with sales calls and just kind of bring my knowledge and now my etiquette knowledge to sales teams. And at this point, I was living in Tucson, Arizona.
Wow. So Tucson to Florida, that's a long drive.
Connecticut to Celebration, which is a
Yeah, there
town
you
that Disney
go.
built, to Aventura, to Tucson, to China, Najing, to
Wow.
to back to South Florida to Daytona Beach. So yeah,
Oh my gosh, you got put some miles on this week. That's awesome. So I'm just curious from a business etiquette perspective. I'm going to kind of start there. What are some things that listeners might be doing wrong? What are some tips that you see are common things you see people doing? I mean, I'm sure things like handshake and interrupting and, speaking over people and all, there's just so many that I think of. So, but I'm just curious on your end, Adrian, what do you see are some of the common things that people are doing wrong that we might be able to work on fixing for ourselves?
I appreciate that. So communication, definitely. One of the simplest things, I say this all the time, if you're going to send a text message, let the person know who you are. Hi, Dave, it's Adrian. Don't
Yeah.
assume. I think too many assumptions are made. The assumption that, oh, I met her 2 months ago and she saved my phone number. Well,
Yeah.
I'm not the
Right.
greatest at saving it. Let us know who you are. Sending an email without a phone number, without a signature, that to me means that you really aren't interested in business. You're interested in telling me something, but if
Sure.
I'm interested, you're kind of like saying, hey, don't call me because I'm not going to give you the information to call me. And I always make a joke out of it. Dave, 386-631-4577. Try me. Just try me right now. So it's my cell phone number
Sure.
because that's one of the easiest things you could do. It's surprising to me how often I use LinkedIn a lot. I'll go to find someone on LinkedIn. And then if I have to take more than a few minutes to find your number, whether it's your
Yeah.
office number or your cell phone number, that makes no sense to me. And in all honesty, if I want to reach you right away and you're asking me to like send an email or wait for you, I'm not saying I will, but I may just go to the next person that I could reach and talk to. In
Sure.
sales, if they say strike while the iron is hot, in sales,
Yeah.
take the call, work with the person, never let someone have the opportunity to talk to another company
Sure.
because they may just wow them more than you can. So those are
Yeah.
some of the, and isn't that the simplest
Wow.
tips? It,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah, no, I think it's funny because I get these texts on occasion like, "How's your day going?" or "You wanna get together this weekend?" And I'm just like, "Yeah, I'm sorry, who is this?" Right? So, I've been doing that just as of late because, app saying putting my name in there just so people know that. So that's an awesome tip. And again, I love tips that don't cost any money, right? These aren't costing any money. These are communication things that we want to really work on improving. Same with the email. I mean, I'm shocked at how many people don't have a good signature in their email. I mean, whether for whatever reason, I don't know what it is, but that's again another free thing that all you got to do is take the time to create that, email address at the back end, put your email address on there, put your phone number, a website, whatever it is that you need to do in an in-person type meeting. So I'm just curious, because go back to your quandary that you were in that dinner. Are there some tips for people listening that are in that, dinner? Maybe they're having dinner with a client or a prospect for the first time. I mean, I always think about what can I eat with a fork and not have tacos and nachos and stuff like that. Just that's going to get all over me. But from a practical, what did you learn in school when it came to that business etiquette?
so first of all, I want to tell you, it took a little time for all of us to learn how to shake hands. There
Yeah.
were a lot of ambassadors that were in this. So there's about class of 22. I was surprised how many of us, how to really shake a hand, how to set yourself up for that, how to make proper introductions. And that still can be tricky. Also how to, when you're walking into, so here's a couple tips.
Yeah.
And I get nervous too walking into a networking event.
Sure.
The older I've gotten too, it's actually been a little harder, and I still don't do great with like after hour events and bars and things like that. It just
Sure.
so I have to work on this all the time myself, just so everyone knows I am completely not perfect, but I do know that before I walk in, first thing I do is dry your hands, make sure they're not like sweaty. Okay, that's important. Also, don't rush so fast to get a drink because now if you're right-handed and you're holding your drink in your right hand, every time you go to shake it, you're going to have a wet hand.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
hold
Wow.
it in, depending on what, I'm right-handed. So I'll hold it in my left hand.
Sure.
But often I try not to, so and when you walk in, so there's 2 points like in networking. One is if you are networking, you and I are talking and there's 6 of us around, right? We
Mhm.
should automatically, Dave, kind of like open it up so that instead of being a closed circle and nobody can approach, we open it up. And that way, when someone's coming over, or if we bring them over, we start the introductions. When you start meeting and you're saying, hi, I'm Adrian, how are you? Dave, oh, hi, Dave. Cindy, oh, hi, Cindy. Don't like, I've seen people go halfway. Dave, Cindy, Beth, oh, hi, everyone else. You know what? Take the
Right.
time. Also,
Yeah.
what I like to do is say, oh, Dave, is it Dave? Because that'll help me because a lot of people's name, listen, if it's Kim, it could be KYM, right? Jim, it could be JYM. So
Yeah.
I don't assume, but also having my ask you and you telling me and spelling the name allows me to remember the name. It really makes a difference. I may even say, oh my gosh, a lot of people get your name wrong. Or do you always have to tell people to spell your name? So maybe I'll make a conversation about it. Right. And a lot of
Sure.
names, I'm like, where did your mother name you? Like I get curious. So that's always a good starting point with the conversation. But make sure if you're going to go say hello to everyone that you continue that all the way through. Don't run into a meeting like this. Oh yeah, Dave, I would have been here 5 minutes early, but the guy, the parking guy, oh my God, he stopped me and then he told me that I had a little damage in my car. Like, what does he care about my tire? Now I got to go in here. Then I tripped coming in here. Oh my God, I went to go use the bathroom and the toilet paper got in the back. Like, and you're like, okay, not interested. So take that breath.
Yep.
Nobody really needs to know. Not that this is an etiquette tip, but a few years ago, this was my this was my New Year's resolution to myself. No more excuses. If I am late, then I will say, Dave, I am very sorry for wasting your time. I feel awful about that. Thank you for
Sure.
waiting. I really appreciate it. Let's go on. No, Dave, oh my gosh, I got a phone
Yeah.
call and I couldn't leave the office and I'm so busy. Okay,
Yeah.
let's talk about saying you're so busy. Do
Yeah.
not say you're so busy. Now, yes, the first time I ever said I'm busy, I got in trouble. Mom and dad were like, well, my mom, she was like, I don't want to hear that you're busy. The woman home with a baby is busy. It's a relative term. You start saying it too much, it'll become addicting to you. People say it all the time, how swamped they are. And the reality is, you just need one person to hear you and say, oh, I was going to go to Adrienne Barker and give her business, but she's too busy. And
Yeah.
honestly, when I hear people tell me how busy they are, I think to myself, what do you think you're busier than me? Are you busier than the
Yeah.
president of the United States? Like, what does that
Yep.
have to do with me? And thank you. Now, I may not recommend you because you just told me that. So take that out of your vocabulary. I mean, there's
Wow.
a lot of things we have to stop saying, but that's one, right? Just be careful with that.
That's awesome. I think about people that go, "Oh my gosh, I am swamped." This is a new word, right? I'm swamped. And like you said, I'm s- I love making connections with people. I love introducing to people, connecting dots and allowing them to transact business. If I found somebody that needed your services, Adrian, and you kept saying, "Oh my gosh, I'm busy. I don't know how I'm going to get this done," and there's woe is me type thing. I gotta say, I would think twice about making any referral for you because of what you just said. So I think that's brilliant for us to really be careful in our words because communication is so powerful. That's really all we have between us and another human being. So if we're communicating the wrong message,
Yeah.
conversely, somebody says I have nothing to do, that's like, uh-oh. When you see a restaurant, a bunch of restaurants in a row and then they're all busy and then one's not, it's like, I wonder why that is. So do you see a lot of people, they use filler words, they get nervous, they're not really thinking this through when they're communicating, whether it's in a networking event or that. Do you see that a lot in the people you work with?
I really do. First of all, I am a Toastmaster. And when I was a Toastmaster in Tucson, I'm what now one in Volusia County, Ormond Beach. But when I was one, there was something that I lived by, and it was say yes to opportunities and then let everything else kind of come through. That has really been important to me to
Yeah.
understand. And Toastmasters helps you to communicate and to be more confident. And I think it's really important, Dave, to leave your ego at the door. And I wanted to share with you one of the things that I actually feel bad for my parents because I didn't realize this till about maybe about 7 to 10 years ago that I am actually what they call a servant leader. So my sales were always great because I was passionate. Even if I really didn't even know too much, my passion was all like that was always there. Oh, we're giving the contract to Adrienne. She is passionate. And I'm like, so that's kind of carried me all the way through, which has been really amazing. But working within the business, my I don't know how they dealt with me. I was always like, we need to make sure that we train her so that when we give her a title, because, at family business, sometimes you'll give someone a title, but maybe you're not, making sure that title. And I was always like, no, they have to have the title. They, how are we making sure that we're communicating to our salespeople? I would start running sales meetings. I only worked at Muscular Dystrophy Association. That was my only job besides my family business. Family
Okay.
business, 13 years at Muscular Dystrophy. I was the district director. So I came with a lot of background information, even as simple
Sure.
things as how they handled vacation time. And then but I didn't recognize that. So there's people that are like me, a servant leader, they're going to be more quiet and more wanting to help. The restaurant that has nobody there, that's the one I would go into because that's part of who I am. I go into the ones like that. And then I have a good experience because I'm
Sure.
positive. I'm already putting it out there. I'm just a positive person. And then I'm
Sure.
going to go tell people, hey, come on over to this restaurant. Why are you waiting in line? So,
Yeah.
like, so when you start to know yourself, I also learned a few years ago that I'm a forward. So I'm a forward thinker. So I will tell you that it's really important to, work with someone like Dave because otherwise it helps. Like, you don't know, like, well, what's wrong with me? Why am I always worried more about, the people over profits? And I
Yeah.
feel bad that I wish my parents were alive so I could apologize to them, not because I'm sorry I'm a servant leader, but I didn't understand myself. Or when you're a
Sure.
forward thinker, being a forward thinker makes you like the 10th man. So if you're in a board meeting and everyone's like, yes, yes, we love that idea, I'm the one that's like, wait a minute, what
Right.
if? Let's look. So there was a big article written about me. Like, I'm very positive. I have a positive outlook, but to many, I'm known as Debbie Downer because of being a forward thinker and always looking at, I need to look at everything. So it's really important to get to know yourself. I'm
Sure.
62, so I didn't live in the age of, having life coaches that can help you do that, but I'm a
Right.
believer.
Yeah. That's awesome. Well, we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, I want to transition into LinkedIn because I don't know about you, listener and Adrian, but I'm getting pummeled by people on LinkedIn that are going to save my life. And I only have to work like 3 minutes a day and I'm going to make millions and I'm going to have $200,000 months. And oh my gosh, there's just amazing things going on. So I kind of want to unpack that when we come back. Welcome back. I'm honored to be hanging out with Barker. Sorry about that. Adrian Barker, the founder of Professional Global Etiquette, and you are in Florida, which is awesome. So enjoy the warm weather down there. So we've been talking about this etiquette in networking and business meetings and at work. And so now I want to kind of transition it into social media a little bit and look at LinkedIn. You've been noted as LinkedIn expert in Florida, which has been awesome. So I really want to tap into that piece. So most people listening right now use LinkedIn. Some people use it every day. Some people use it every week, but most people are using it. Um, what are some things that you feel are like tips that you can share on how to effectively use LinkedIn? Because I just am seeing so many people use it uneffectively, if that's even a word. So, what are your thoughts and what are your practices when it comes to trying to promote yourself and your brand in an effective way?
So I have clients that I do their LinkedIn for them. And the
Okay,
first thing is, yes, you need a background. Yes, you need, optimization, all of that. There's people that charge an enormous amount of money to get your LinkedIn up and, and ready, let's say,
sure,
optimize it. I do the same thing. But with my years of experience, I really look. So, Dave, you're a hard person. So you would be harder to find. Let's just say if you said, Adrian, I want to go to LinkedIn, I would say to you, well, what do you want to search? Like, who do you want to reach out to? And you say, I want to reach out to HR leaders because I can come in there and I can train their staff. I want to reach
sure,
out to life coaches. Dave, how am I can find some life coaches out there. That's fine. We could do that. That would work for you. But there's some people that, if someone wants to reach out to overweight, chunky, though I did lose 30 pounds. So I just want to say that, but overweight,
congrats,
chunky, 62-year-old woman, I'm on LinkedIn, but you're not going to search for me. You're not going to find me. So
sure,
once you identify, yes, I can, there's what I could do. So I have one client. He's a really excellent comedian, very like millions of views on TikTok. So out of Scotland, I've been reaching out for him to events, meeting place, tourism venues, all of that. And it's working out great. His LinkedIn just did a couple things, created his company page for them, linked it. That looks nice. Now the campaign, my messages are always simple. For all of you that they're not even, you practice preach to the crier, Dave. They don't care. They're sending it out. They have no idea. Why would you ever want to? First of all, I don't want them making phone calls for me and representing me because I hear the phone calls coming in and I'm like, no, that's not something I want. So honestly, I don't want, I do the same thing. So I'm the one that will say, oh, that's nice. Here's my program. I'll look at their LinkedIn too and say, my God, like, how are you? Like, I've always thought of the cobbler's daughter, right? The
Yeah,
daughter of the man who's making shoes. And maybe, and they're the daughter doesn't have any shoes. Does that mean that the father doesn't make great shoes? No, he's just busy making shoes for everyone else. So don't forget
sure,
yourself. So I always look and say, wait, you got like, you don't even have a great LinkedIn. And now you're telling me that you're going to find me leads. There are all these just pre-written, heavy automation, yucky messages, and just make a decision not to, whatever you want to do with them. Don't connect with
sure,
them, connect with them. To me, it doesn't matter. Whatever you do, though, lock down your connections in LinkedIn. Because if you don't lock down your connections, if you don't go to securities and privacy and have it open, close it, say, no, I don't want other people to do it. Because Dave, what they can easily do is they could go to Dave. I'm so lucky I got Dave Melinda as my contact. And now they can reach into my pocket, get all of your leads. And next thing you know, they are connecting to all of your clients. Now, do I like it when I have to do that? And it does happen that I'm like, oh, yay, you didn't lock it down. But listen, just lock it down so you don't have
sure.
someone that's working on it. But the message campaigns too should just be nice. It should, I started with my LinkedIn 18 years ago. And just another story. My mom did walk by. I go, what are you doing? I said, LinkedIn. She said, get off LinkedIn. I said, Mom, no. So this is how I told my parents. I said, listen, we're in sales, right? Three things in sales. You touch your past clients and keep in touch with them. LinkedIn does that for me. Work on what we have right now on the plate. Mom, look at my plate. I got a lot.
Yeah,
And what's the future though? I need to make sure my future, and my whole life I've done this. So a lot of people say, I had LinkedIn, I used it. Now I'm in a new career and now I need to start all over again. You probably don't have to start all over again. But what if you just started today saying, I'm going to build my LinkedIn? Call me because I can help you build it and not expensive. But that's the key so that I'm always being able to, I have a good connection. Is it create? I have maybe 15,000 going into 16,000. Some people have 30,000, 40,000. I'm not worried about that. How I built that up, Dave, is if when I read the articles in the paper that's saying 40 under 40, I'll send them a message. Thank you. Congratulations on being 40 under
sure,
40. You're a great
sure.
role model for our children these days. Like, I'll just do that. And so when you meet someone at an event, Dave, do you mind if I just connect with you on LinkedIn? Do I have to send you a message? You say, no, don't, just connect with you. I'll remember you. And then we connect on LinkedIn. So LinkedIn is and I know that you're going to have to put this in the show notes with the definition, Rolodex.
Yeah. Oh,
A
half the
Rolodex.
world just was like, what? Roll a what? What is that?
Rolodex. Put that in your show notes. But seriously, so like, so if you use it intentionally, then you're going to really get some great results in it. And at that point, you're not even going to worry about the messages that come across it. You can just go delete, delete, delete.
Sure. So if I wanted to grow a certain chunk of my business, and we'll just call it speaking business, I do a lot of speaking around the country, and let's say that I wanted to start connecting with event planners, associations, whatever, people that hire speakers. So, and I don't have the paid version of the LinkedIn right now. I mean, you can start kind of searching for event planners and, kind of make connections, but I'm always thinking like, why would they want to connect with me? I really need to give them a reason. So do you feel like you have to provide some value first for people before they'll connect with you, or how do you view that from that perspective?
No, no, no. It only because I've done this so many times that I know for a fact you don't. You want to have
Sure.
a good LinkedIn so when they look at it, they see. And I really do teach a lot of. I teach more why you need to do things than telling you what you have to do. And I
Okay.
also don't want to lose. I hear some people say the headshot has to be this way. If you climb mountains for a living, then having a mountain and you're climbing it is a cool. So we don't want to lose a core of who you are. But for you, I would say, oh, can I ask you where you're located?
Sure,
Or
Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Milwaukee in the house. So Milwaukee, I bet you Milwaukee has a convention and visitors bureau. Milwaukee or somewhere that has somewhere where they're bringing in. Why not connect with them first? So a lot of
Okay.
people don't know about convention and visitors bureau and how some work on tourist tax dollars, TDDs. Some work off of membership. So let's find out how yours work. Let's look. I'll show my client how we actually go in, how we find them, the partner area of that. From there, we break out. I let them know. And the reason why I know this is because I spent 6 years on the board of Meeting Professionals International. So
Okay,
I totally get it. And I was member of Kissimmee Chamber. I was member of Fort Lauderdale Chamber, Miami Chamber, like a lot of different, not chambers, tourism tax dollars where you become a partner for them. And it's a lot of fun and
sure.
some are free. So I really want to educate you first because I can't believe how many people that are not in the industry and are a speaker, but yet they're like, I want to speak, what that really looks like. Then I know how to do the campaign. And what makes me so different is that I share it all. I do workshops and I show everyone exactly how to do what I do. So you're going to walk away, not like I'm giving you a little tips and then you're like, oh, I got to the end and I don't know what to do. No, you're going to get it
Still didn't
all from
work.
me. No,
Yeah,
you're going to get it all. You're going to learn everything because what I kind of live off is those that will say to me, I love what you're doing. I wish I had the time. And then I say, oh, well, here it is. And I tell them it's 30 minutes a day, Monday through Friday, and then I give them my price and I get hired because they don't really want to do it. And I'll throw in
sure.
posts and newsletters. I'm I'm really, really good and fair because I understand the importance of it. But I also understand too, I bill 2 weeks after my clients because I understand too that it takes a little time to build up. So I want them to see in that 2 weeks, they should at least start seeing connection requests and going on. We plan what the second message is going to be. For the comedian, it's a little fun. I wrote something for him. He came back with something else that's even better. That's great. I have no
Sure.
ego, so I just want to make sure it's the best. But what I'm really good at is knowing, like digging deep to say, oh, here's where you should be, and here's what the reach out is going to look like.
Gotcha. So do you suggest the paid version of LinkedIn? Because I know there's a free version and a paid version. Which one works? Or does it depend on your client?
I like 80% of my clients have Sales Navigator, and it
Okay.
really is great. I also use another program that's automation human. So it is not 100% automation. It is looked at, every name is looked at, everything is touched. So nothing is being, I mean, sometimes people fall like Dave, if you worked at Waffle House in 2010 and you have it on your LinkedIn, and I do a connection request for everyone that works at Waffle House, because you know why, right?
Yeah.
Yum, eggs and pancakes and waffles. You would pop up and you'd be like, I've been in finances. Why are you reaching out to me? And I'd be like, there's one place you had Waffle House in there. So that's how great LinkedIn's SEO is. But that's another reason why you really want to be intentional with every section of LinkedIn.
Sure. So is that automation human part of LinkedIn or is that independent of LinkedIn?
It's a third party that we're not supposed to talk about. And I don't want them coming and taking me. Yeah, don't everyone shh. But
Okay. Shh. We'll
but
do the
but
Men in Black pen on them where they'll forget everything after this. So
yes,
we're
come on
good.
the workshop. I'll be
There you
doing a
go.
workshop soon, so come and do the workshop with me because learn that way, and it's not
Yeah.
expensive either. As a matter of fact, the program in the highest price, the program's like $25 a month. So
So do you do online training for people? I'm assuming for those that aren't in the Florida area that want to build out their LinkedIn profile, is that the best thing to do is to look at working with you? And do you do monthly type events or how does that work?
I do. So what's interesting is the other about 2 weeks ago, I realized, wow, what I have been doing I could teach this to someone else. And then I thought I'm on Chatter Social. So Nelson Apega started Chatter Social. It's amazing audio visual app. So if you've ever been on Clubhouse, it's even better because there's a video. So you can actually stream podcasts. So I could teach. So I have a cohort of 12. I'm not doing their LinkedIn for them. I am teaching them my program so that I get the feedback from them. They'll have everything than the paid version, but I'm starting because we always test things, right? I'm starting to make sure that I'm doing everything correctly. But the whole idea of that is that for other agencies, it's going to be a white labeled service. For my regular clients, the minute I do a LinkedIn workshop, I'm always getting extra business. So I've been busy doing some other things. So I'm going to go back to it because it really is something that I love. I love teaching. And most people, when I listen to the others, you guys are good, but you're not me. You'll never be me because I ask why and I show why
Sure.
every step of the way. I'm really good. So I'm sorry for all of you out there. I love when they send me messages and I'm like, okay, you really don't even, that's weird.
Sure.
But
Yep.
I'm like, do you want me to teach you?
Sure.
Always turn if you want to have a little fun. But at the end of the day, I know I'm good at it. There's not a question. I didn't just all of a sudden wake up 4 years ago and decided, oh, LinkedIn is cool. With my background in business that I have, my 8 years with SCORE, you really couldn't find anyone stronger, as far as brilliance goes with the mind than me, because I have a strong business sense.
Sure, sure. So there's a lot of people, Adrian, that think that, LinkedIn is about finding a job, or I'm not, because I ask people, you have a LinkedIn profile, and they're like, no, I'm not looking for a job and things like that. What have you noticed as like what's the best thing about LinkedIn for somebody that's trying to grow their business? What's like stands out for you above all things when it comes to LinkedIn?
So that's two things. One is growing and scaling your business, and the other one is maybe hiring, which is LinkedIn is great for. Or if you are someone who, if you have your own business, do not put open to business, because it's weird, because it's not like open to work. Any of that doesn't look right if you are an agency or a marketing company. So I would definitely not do that. If you are in a position where you're working for a company and you're maybe not happy and you want to see what else is out there, then yes, then actually there's a lot of great coaches out there. But at the end of the day, the whole idea is that you want to grow your LinkedIn, you want to be careful, but maybe you're like, I don't want them to look at if HR knows or anything
Sure.
happens. But
Yep.
you can, and there's paid versions also, about $29, maybe a little less per month, for those that are looking for a job. But this is also where it's not a one-way street. Looking for a job, you want to know, is this a good company? How are they? What are the reviews like? What are the people like? So you can
Sure.
go in there, and also when you apply for a job, you can also reach out to the person that posted the job to say, hey, hi, I just sent a LinkedIn and I would love to be considered. So I think it's
Sure.
fantastic. I think all of us should think of LinkedIn for the future. Don't just think of today. And maybe, and if you're looking to scale your business, of course you're going to call me, because I can help you with that. Absolutely. Again, there's very few things that maybe you can't find, but I'm going to be honest with you, because I don't want to do a LinkedIn unless I know that I'm going to be able to get you business. So that's the first thing, is you have to have a real talk with someone who really knows.
Sure, sure. That's awesome. And yeah, I think there's still, after how many years LinkedIn's been around, I still think there's a misnomer to it. People are unsure what it's for. There's some people that are afraid of it because, they might steal all my people. And, if you probably work for a weaker company, it's possible that that might happen. So, as we start to land today, the plane, what would your tip of the day be, Adrian, for somebody listening? Maybe it's something you've already shared, or maybe it's something that you haven't shared yet, but what would your tip of the day be for our listeners?
Well, I do want to say, for the audience of the promotional products companies, is that, how do you, if you're creative, then prove it. Show your creativity, proof of performance. That is what LinkedIn can do for you. So when you think of all the ways that LinkedIn can, well, for you, like positive polarity, being credible, that is so important to make sure that you are. So look at your LinkedIn with other eyes. But it's really good to have someone that is an expert that can go in and help you. So one of the tips is to really to really look at everything that you have, and also don't start a campaign unless you actually have the ability to follow up. I have had clients where I've had to let them go because I'm getting them leads, but then they're like, I didn't, I'll be like, okay, now I'm your accountability. Did you send that sample out? Did you do what you said you were going to do? And if they're not, I don't allow you to go too
Sure.
long, maybe a week.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, no, because I don't want to waste my time. My goal is to get you business and
Sure.
meetings,
Sure.
or
Yeah.
maybe you have another, maybe you want to be on podcasts. And, a lot of podcast hosts are looking for someone on LinkedIn, a guest. They look at like how many followers you have. I see that a lot of
Sure.
times. So,
Yep.
and
Absolutely.
my biggest tip, and please, 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 everyone, this is so important. When you're at the table for like luncheon table, dining at an event, and the rolls are in front of you, could you please take a roll yourself and then pass it to the left? And then have the butter follow it, because there's nothing worse than sitting at a meeting and the rolls are on the other side and nobody's asking to pass it. And you're
Oh.
like, pass those rolls. So
Yep.
usually when I teach a class, I throw the rolls. So you'll remember
There
that.
you go.
Pass the rolls.
Yeah.
Very
There you go.
important. Be the one
Or
to
bring
pass the
your own
rolls,
rolls, right? Or bring your own rolls. That's,
but don't
you
take them with
can't.
you.
Yeah, exactly.
I've seen meetings where people are putting don't use, don't put lipstick on during dinner. And absolutely, this doesn't even go on the table.
Yeah,
Sit
it's
on
not
it
something.
or put it in your bag or whatever.
Yeah,
I put mine under my butt, but take it off the table. Do not,
yeah,
don't, no matter how, and work on yourself. I'm up to 8 hours. I can concentrate and be focused. Don't be, and all of a sudden and David, there was a time where I thought I was so important. I mean, oh my God, I was a daughter of a big business and I could, this is shows how busy I am. So no,
yeah.
don't. And then also be early at a meeting. Even with Zoom, I came in, well, I had to like find it, but I wanted to make sure I came in early.
Sure,
You know what
you
it's
did.
like. Oh, and now, am I perfect? No. Do I miss meetings? Of course. I don't give an excuse. I have to say I'm sorry. But at the end of the day, if you are opening up a room and you're having a meeting or a workshop, open it early and then make sure that everyone's voice is like you can hear. It's nice to go
Yeah,
on the room. Oh, Kathy, nice to see you today. Kathy says hello, and you're like, oh, good, I got it. Because there's
yep,
nothing worse than you open up a room, you open it late, you're kind of fussing around, and the next thing you know, as some people have a mic issue and you have to fix that. That's
yep,
etiquette. That's etiquette.
yep.
If you're in a meeting, don't be the last one in the room. I used to think that I was so important, or that maybe it would make me look important. So be the first one. Let everyone else come in. Show the respect that you have for other people and their time.
Sure, that's awesome. Well, hey, the president of the United States is the only one to be able to be the last one in the room, right? So everyone's waiting for him or her, and then they come out. So if you're the president, then by all means, you have that right. Otherwise, I love that advice, Adrian, is to be early. I think that's so powerful to show up early, shows respect, it shows responsibility. So, tons of great stuff here for somebody listening, Adrian, that wants to connect with you. What would the best spot for them to be able to connect with you? Where would we go for that?
So you probably heard my dog barking my phone number because he loves to do that. So you got my
So
cell
the
phone number.
dog barks the phone number? That's fantastic. That's great.
So 386-631-4577. And I'm in that kind of what is that word? Conundrum.
Conundrum.
Conundrum, where I have adrianbarker.com that has most of my presentations and workshops, my speaking information, my landing pages. And then I do have Professional Global Etiquette that has my book. I wrote a book called It's Not My Secret to Share: The Power and Consequences of Secrets. And they're short stories of secrets in the playground, in the workplace, and with friends, with family, all of that. And just so that you can have a discussion. Really wrote that for myself when I was younger. So, if you grow up in a family business, there's too many secrets. So I gave away too many and I took too many to sleep with me. So that book is available on my website too, and my blog. And so that two websites, Professional Global Etiquette and adrianbarker.com. And always buy your name too if you have it.
Perfect. Yeah, absolutely. That's awesome. And then you also have a podcast called No Prep Needed. So if you want to learn more about Adrian, jump over there. So thank you so much for hanging out today. Thank you for sharing some much needed and often information that kind of gets assumed. Like, I just laugh. I was just at an event not too long ago, same exact thing, butter and rolls are way on the other side of the thing. No one's paying attention. I'm like, do I get up? Do I ask? What do you do? So it's just like, why even have that? So little things like that, I think, make such a difference, whether it's in person or on LinkedIn. So thank you so much for hanging out with us, and appreciate all that you're doing. And I'm going to keep learning my etiquette, and hopefully someday I'll be in your camp and I'll be able to remember all the things that you just shared. So I appreciate that.
Thank you.